What's going on, everybody out there on the other side of the bridge? Welcome back to another Wednesday night. It's an open chat tonight.
Yes.
So we got some things to talk about. A couple of things to talk about. And then if, like I said, it's an open chat. So if anybody has anything to say about the topics we are talking about, you're more than welcome to go ahead and leave your comment. Or if you want to go as far as coming on up here with us to say what you have to say, you are more than welcome to do that as well. It's 100% up to you. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the the link to the show in the comments. So for anybody who does feel like they want to come up here and talk,
Not a bunch of people at once, though.
Yeah, not a bunch of people at once. Not a bunch of people at once. But if anybody does, this is one of those prime opportunities to do so. So yeah, like I said, we have some things on the agenda for tonight. So I just put the link up for anybody. Like if you do want to come up here whenever we start hitting these topics, you're more than welcome. Links out there. I will add it every once in a while so that it doesn't get lost in the sauce. So,
I'm back.
You're back. Welcome back. Scorpio's back.
Yeah,
Scorpio's back.
Kind of upset because the show last week was show number 13. I was
No. You're good.
Oh no, I was perturbed. What, this is show number?
This is show number 13.
Oh.
So you're good. You got show number 13. You're here. You missed show number 12, but you were here.
Oh, I missed show number 12. Okay, show number 13. This is show number 13. Okay. Hi, MG. Yes, MG. I am doing fine. So speaking of that, we were without power for 3 days.
Yeah.
So that was no fun whatsoever, and just praying and trying to find ways to keep the phones charged just in case if we need to contact somebody or anything like that. We had a storm for like 1 day, and the very next day, the sun was shining. So I was like, okay.
That's one thing I don't miss about hurricanes is stuff like that. But then over here in Colorado, we get pounded with snow, and then in the afternoon the sun be out. Like, did you miss me?
Yeah, I'm just like, that was the worst. Let me tell you something. That was the worst 3 days. It was no power. Thank you, Anubis. I'm sorry I missed the show last week. That wasn't my fault though. I wasn't planning. Look, Ian took my power out at 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll come back on by the day. And no, it did not. We did not see power until I think Friday or Saturday. I think, Friday. Friday or
Yeah, it was
Saturday,
Friday.
Saturday morning. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it
because I
was
remember
Friday,
when
Friday.
you let me and John know that he was like, "It's back."
It was
I was like,
back. It
"I'm
was
so
power.
glad."
We had no power, so it was crazy. We was sitting in the dark. We was lighting
Mhm,
candles and everything.
mhm.
So we had no power for 3 days, but we grateful to the good Lord that it's back.
Yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, that was. But this is show number 13. We're
mm,
back. Me,
glad.
Mama, and Kobe are good. So
Yeah,
power's back on. We're happy.
that's good. And that's a good thing. I'm glad to hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like I heard, show number 13. So we do got some
Yes.
topics. Honestly, we got like a big topic, and then that topic is gonna go into some things. But the first thing that I do want to first thing I do want to put out there before we even get started,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna keep this short so that yeah, I'm gonna keep this short. Yeah. Um so I had to put this out here. Um
Yeah.
Found out yesterday that a good friend of mine, LaShawn Colvin, passed away. And that sucks. She is the creator of Beautiful Soldiers. She's also one of the first females to open a comic book shop in Alabama, which was crazy. And
Yeah.
for a lot of you who probably see the name and remember the name, or probably notice the name, so I'm wearing this shirt tonight. She was the editor on Stars Song One. She and I were friends for a very long time. Um, like the early days of Beautiful Soldiers, and honestly, the early days of Sovereign Comics. Um, we shared a lot, talked about each other's universe. We had plans, and it sucks, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to wrap my head around it. I was gonna post some on Facebook, but I couldn't because I was like, don't know what to say, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm just gonna show some of the stuff, like show some covers on her website to y'all. It's like she just signed with Scout. Like she, like she was moving up, she was doing things. She was doing things. She was doing everything that we talked about before it happened. Before we even got to that point, you know. Um, so it's crazy. I did talk to our other friend. We have a mutual friend, Andrea, and she was the one who told me. Like she called me at like 4 in the morning, like for my time. And so
Mm.
it was already kind of where I was like, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, getting those early morning calls is always something.
Yeah. That's something.
Last year, for y'all who may remember or may not, I lost my uncle, and he was the one who introduced me to comics. Same thing, early morning phone call. I am nervous about early morning phone calls. Um, but she let me know. I ended up talking to her. She let me know, and that was crazy because the last conversation I had with LaShawn, we were talking about her podcast that she was about to start, talking about the equipment and stuff that she would need. And she asked me what I used, and I told her about one of the apps that I use to help with the voice, to make, to keep the background noise and stuff out. And then the last thing I said to her was like, "Hey, I want you on the bridge, and we gotta figure out how to get you on the bridge." That was the last thing I said to her. Um, so it sucks. It really sucks. So yeah. Um, as far as like Sovereign Comics is concerned, and what I'm gonna do for her, she was quite literally the first editor that I brought into the Sovereign Comics camp. Other than myself, she was the very first one, and it was on Stars. And for y'all who've read Stars, like she wasn't playing. Like I wanted to quit sometimes, and she'd be like, I'm gonna fly over to Colorado and kick your ass if you quit." Like she played no games, man. She was a
Mm.
great friend. And a good person for me to talk to whenever I had questions, or if the industry was kind of getting on my nerves, I can go and talk to her and stuff. So it sucks. It really does suck. Um, but I'm gonna do what LaShawn would have wanted me to do, and that's to keep going, especially with Stars, because she loves Stars as much as she loved Beautiful Soldiers. So if I stop with Stars, she probably will haunt me. Not
Mhm.
even playing, like for real. She would come back and get me. Um, she was a beautiful soul, incredibly nice individual, super sweet, and she never bit her tongue. And I think that's one of the things I noticed, that people that I love to keep around me are like that, sweet but
Yeah.
don't bite their tongue. and there's a reason for that because I'm the same way. Nice, but I will not bite my tongue.
Yeah.
So I surround myself around the same type of people. Um,
Same here. If it's ugly, say
so
it's ugly. Don't lie to me.
exactly. Don't lie to me.
Don't give me that.
Uh,
It's cute, but no, say it's ugly.
yeah. And for a lot of people who don't know this either, like I was actually an editor in the first two issues of Beautiful Soldiers. So you will, when that book does get released, you'll see my name in that because I was the editor on that. So yeah.
So was that like the first book that you edited?
Uh, outside of my own, yeah. Outside of my own, it was the first one. Beautiful Soldiers. First two issues were the first ones well, first two chapters. That was the first books out of my own that I edited. Um,
Her books haven't been released yet?
no, they're on the way though. I'm pretty
No.
sure. I'm pretty sure Scout's going to do something. I don't know. I don't want to speak for them.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure something's going to happen with that. You know, hopefully, just to hold up to her memory. Because that's the biggest thing that eats me alive. Because I know how much she loved it. I know how much she loved creating. I know how much she loved these soldiers. I know the world that she had planned for that. Like people, and it's crazy because people aren't gonna get the opportunity to see that.
I experienced
Um,
that.
yeah. So it sucks. So in her memory, I do hope that it gets released. It needs to be released because she had a monster in Beautiful Soldiers. That book is a monster, and that says a lot coming
Mhm.
from me because I don't glorify
Say that
people's
about a
books
lot of
like that.
movies. Yeah.
And she had a monster. So oh man. But yeah, before we go, I do want to show this because I just wanted to get that out there, let everybody know what happened, like as far as the comics community. Um, I know I'm hurting. I know Andrea's hurting. Can't really speak for anyone else, but I do know that us three, as far as like Beautiful Soldiers is concerned, like early days, so it sucks. Um but yeah, let me see if it'll let me go ahead and grab that because I do want y'all to see one of these one of these covers. Hold on.
She
Well, actually, the
she
cover
has
for the first one. Yeah,
she
for the
has she
first
has some
act.
nice ones because
Yeah.
I first saw her stuff
Here's
on Facebook. So yeah,
let's make
that's
sure.
enough.
Let me send it up. Oh, no, no, it's going up. There it is. So this is the cover of her first one. It's gonna be under Scout. When this is on her website, I was ready for this to come out. Like one of the things I do remember too is like she used to get a lot of flack for Tara, which is this character right here. Um, Tara is the leader or working to be the leader of the Beautiful Soldiers. And she used to get a lot of flack from people in the industry who would say, like, oh, that character is not black enough. And that's honestly how we met in a group because someone said that to her. And I messaged her. I was like, don't let that bother you. Because I got crazy flack for the same reasons because I had educated black characters. People would say
Okay,
dumb stuff. So,
wait, okay,
it's wild.
okay.
Mhm.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hold on one second. That crap is coming. Go. What is what is not lacking?
Who knows? Somebody's out there running around with that definition and they're not really transcribing it properly to the rest of the population because I have no idea what that even means.
So
Um,
what they're upset that she doesn't have a chicken wing in her hand.
I guess because it's wild to me. Like you look at her, that's a beautiful black woman right there, ready to kick some ass, and people would say dumb stuff like that. Um, but yeah, let's go through all of them because I think she has. Oh no, see it didn't go. Oh nope, there it is. It caught up with itself. Here she is right here. And LaShawn was an artist too. She drew this
Oh,
of that character, and that's Tara.
is any of
Who's
her
later.
artwork? Did, did she sell any of it?
Um, I don't think she sold any of her art, at least not that I remember. Cause she was just like, I know she did things for people, like she did covers for folks.
Hmm.
She did pinups for folks. Um, so that's just Casey right here, or Cassie. Um, and there's Kasumi,
Yeah, she
and
that, yeah.
and And I used to joke around. I used to like this one right here is our girl is Powwow because I love Powwow's freaking attitude and her persona, and this is Powwow. So it was crazy because like one of the things we clicked on is because Powwow is also native. Um, I forget which tribe she's well, actually, yeah, but I forget which tribe. Oh, Chippewa. So she was Chippewa, and so like one of the things that we talked about that what we wanted to do is we wanted to have a beautiful soul. Like we had two ideas: beautiful soldiers and stars crossover, and the beautiful
Mhm.
soldiers and Temple High crossover. And like Pawa and Elizabeth, we're gonna kind of click, because both of them are native. Elizabeth
Yeah.
is Inuit, Inuit and black. So, but yeah, so that's sad. It sucks, but I'm gonna keep pushing on because I know she wouldn't want it any other way. She was one of the first people whenever I thought about quitting, I came to her, like her and my other friend Thomas. Thomas said the same thing. She said, like, if you quit, I'm gonna kick your ass. And now I got more friends who threaten to kick my ass if I quit.
Yes.
See, it was all about
I'm
these.
just
Yeah,
yeah, I'm just coming just stabbing.
yeah. See,
And
it's
then feed you and heal you back to life.
yeah.
Get on that
Mm.
computer and finish typing.
We gotta. We're gonna see the rest of them. I want to try to see the headmistress.
Yes.
This character right here, she's the one in the middle. So she like trains the girls. Um, and she's no joke. She is no joke at all. Then she had her villains. Here's Adonis. Like her villains are even cool too. So they're all elementals, and they're elementals as well. And so they kind of like clash or rather
Mm,
match up with the beautiful soldiers. So like Adonis matches up with with Terra.
mm,
Um Apollo, he matches up with Powwow. Um
mm,
Ares, he matches up with Kasumi. Um and I think the next character matches up with Cassie. Is he up here? Yep. Then he matches up with Cassie. So like I said, she had a monster on the way. And this is their mother, the one who runs everything. She's a full elemental. I'm not gonna give away anything because the book is still coming out.
mm,
And I just hope people are ready for it. Like when I say she had a monster, she did. She did. And it's sad that she couldn't see her book get published, like fully,
mm.
released fully. So but yeah. So I'm gonna stop there before I actually cry on this freaking live, which
If you need to mute for a second,
hmm?
if you need to mute for a second and black your screen, go ahead. Nothing wrong
I
with
mean
nothing,
I just
nothing
want I
wrong.
had to say something because I
Yeah,
didn't
you can't
like
let
I
it
said,
go.
I couldn't, and she was a good friend,
Yeah,
so but
go ahead.
that was good.
Tia, take a break. Tia, take a break. Okay.
That was good.
All right. So
Um mm,
yeah, so those things, this is why you always, always check on your people. Always try to make amends, because you never know. You never know. I just recently found out last night that a gentleman that I went to church with, I just saw him on Sunday. Just saw him on Sunday. And then saw a post last night on Instagram, passed away at his funeral Saturday.
yeah.
See,
It's
I
something
was
else.
like, seriously? I
Yeah.
just saw him in church on Sunday. He looked fine. He was health just fine. What happened? I don't know. But yeah, so that's why I try not to, hold grudges or anything like that. If I'm not talking to a certain person or certain people, or if I don't no longer connect, I can still coexist with them. As
Mhm.
far as us being on that personal level, we would never have that personal level again. And before you say, well, did you try to make up with him? Most likely, I have not most likely, I have tried again
Um,
and gave him
I
ample
mean, her like,
opportunity. Yeah.
yeah, she was honestly, I mean, I'm just being honest. Outside of
Yeah.
the Chimera Kingdom, her and quite literally a handful of other people were the only ones that I actually still talk to in
Mhm.
the indie comics world. Like her and my friend Thomas and Vonell and a couple others, but
Yeah.
um like and I checked on Vonell today, checked on Thomas too, like told Thomas about it because he's talked to her and stuff, it's a wild world.
Yeah.
It's just wild that it happened. And she had a lot coming, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm just gonna do what she would have wanted me to do, and that's keep going. Keep
Yeah.
going, keep pushing, keep getting these books out. Because if I, like I said, if I quit, she gonna kick my ass.
Mm.
And she's for real. She was for real with that. So, oh man. So, but yeah, she's in a better place now, kicking out her comics. She'll see it. She'll see Beautiful Soldiers get released. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, we're gonna go on and let's talk about
Let's talk about beautiful topic we have
yeah,
for
what
tonight.
we
Make sure
well, first we kind of
what
did us too. We kind of talked about us. I was gonna say what's going on with us and the hosts because today is the 13th. I know
hmm,
you have something that you probably could mention since it's the 13th on what's coming and how close it is. Because I'm gonna be sending some
what's
pages
what's
to you this weekend.
what's coming? What are you talking about? What's
You
what's
know
what's
what's on the
what's
way.
coming?
You know what's on the way. You know what's on the
What's
way.
coming?
Yeah.
For those of you that I don't know if you I believe I mentioned it on a live or I did a video about it. I have an ash can that's going to be possibly coming out this month, but I did mention this. I think I mentioned it on a live. I'm only going to do like about. I may just stick with it and just do 13 because I want to do like some boxes because I want to add some more stuff in
Mm.
there. If y'all can y'all please share this, invite more people in so we can get the bridge out there
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
to
Definitely.
the
Definitely
people.
share if you can, because we want a
But
lot
yeah,
more people watching this.
I do have an ash can of four. I believe is it 5 pages here? Four pages, 5 pages.
Yeah, 5, but I think I'm gonna do the 6th one because he just showed me that, and he showed you too. You seen page
Mm,
6, right? You seen page 6? I know he
mm-hmm,
shows me stuff because I'm the editor, and I know he shows you because you're the creator.
mm-hmm,
So I'm thinking like,
mm-hmm,
we might have to drop
mm-hmm.
6 in there.
I've seen
So
all.
because I think 6 would be the perfect way to end it. You know what I'm saying? Like to end that there, like, okay, what happens next? That's why. Like a nice
But
little.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
the next page is just like, "Hey, you gotta pick up issue 1 when it comes out."
in order to read it and see what happens.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yes, I do. My ash can is coming out finally, and we are gearing to a certain time next year. I'm not gonna say that just yet because I want to make sure things are in line. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be in the ash can. It's going to let you know around what time next year the book will be out. So that's what we're gearing for. So it's finally happening. Finally
Yes.
happening after a year and 4 months of getting things together and the artist getting his getting the pages done. Now, like I tell people all the time, you have to this is if you want to learn patience, okay,
Make a
do a
comic.
comic book. If you want
For
to
real.
learn how to be patient with people, create a comic
Mhm.
because you
Patience
I
is
have
not
it.
your virtue? Make a comic.
Yeah,
You have no
you
choice.
will learn.
You're either gonna be the most unruly person and never get your comic done, because the thing in the comic book world too is, like, news travels fast. So if you're a
Yes.
publisher and you pay your people, your
Mhm.
artist is going to travel and artists are going to come to you. If you're a
Yeah.
publisher and you don't pay them, that's gonna travel. And you're gonna be like, "Why can't I find an artist?" It's not that you can't find one. They don't want to work with you because
Yeah,
they know.
they know
And it's this
about
and
you.
it's the exactly, and it's the same on the publisher side too,
Correct.
We talk, we
Yeah,
like, hey, I got 2 covers done from this person, and I'm still waiting on both of them,
yeah,
and it's been 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's like, so that happens. Matter of fact, that's speaking of Sean, to bring back memory. Speaking of Sean, that's honestly another thing too that me and her ended up dealing with the artists, like in the beginning of Temple High, in the beginning of
Mhm.
Beautiful Soldiers, who kind of dipped out on us. The artist that I told y'all about for Temple High, that was the same
Oh
artist
boy.
she was using in the beginning days of Beautiful Soldiers, and we had to let that dude go. Um, so yeah, uh, he wasn't a bad guy. He just didn't
Mhm.
communicate well when he bounced. And, like, he came back and apologized later, but it was just, like,
It's a little too late.
a little too late. Like,
It's a little
I don't
too
hold
late now.
grudges against him, but
Mhm.
only because he apologized. That's the reason why we didn't dump his name out there, because because we were about to.
I
But
because
that's the only reason why we did it, because he
I
came
had
back
to
and he
learn. I
apologized, and
had
we
to
were like,
learn. Yeah, I had to learn patience because my artist. What I had to realize. Okay, he's a husband. He's a father of quadruplets.
"Yeah,
Yes, he had four all at once,
I only got
and
2."
and this is his first time being a father. And he recently bought a house that he had to fix up himself, and he's working a 9 to 5, and I'm
Mhm.
just like, oh Lord.
Like, I get it.
So yeah, it's like I had to be patient with that because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I understand it. I'm like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's
Like
so
I've seen some publishers, like, they'll get off on, like, just attack people, like, "You're too slow, blah, blah, blah," and it's just like, have you gotten to know the artist? Do you know if they actually have a full-time job? Do you know if they're
yeah.
doing other books? Do you know if this is the only thing that they're doing? And a lot of that you gotta take into consideration. Like, I'll tell
Mhm.
you this, like, as far as, like, being a publisher and running a company, it
Yeah.
has taught me patience, like, dealing with writers, which the writing squad that we got, that's part of the SWAT.
Mhm.
Y'all fantastic. I don't got nothing to worry about there. But like, and then even with artists. So, but honestly, what has made me pickier
Yeah.
with the artists. Whereas once upon a time in the beginning, I'd be like, oh man, you want to draw a comic? Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And over time, I'm just like, I've gotten pickier. And since I'm an artist too, like I never wanted to use that again, not really against, but I
Yeah.
never wanted to use that with the artist. I'm like, hey, you're an artist. I don't want to have to come in and say, "Hey, I know how to pencil, ink, and color too,"
Yeah.
because I
You're
don't.
not the only one.
Right, because like I don't want them to feel intimidated,
Yeah.
or on top of that, feel like, oh well, if you can do it, then I'm just going to do a
Go ahead.
half-ass
I
job,
just go ahead and do it. Yeah.
right?
People are
Or feel
people are
like,
people are so
like
sensitive.
exactly, so you get the sensitive end, and then on the side of the intimidation, and they're probably like, damn, since he's an artist, he's really going to be nitpicky with stuff, and then they'll be
Yeah.
edgy and jumpy around stuff. Um, but yeah, you learn a lot. You learn how to work with folks. Um, like I said, I got pickier, and like I said in the beginning, I didn't want to use the fact that I'm an artist whenever screening artists. But as time went on, and I had artists dip out on me in the middle of a book after I pretty much gave them an advance, and then had another artist explain to me that black people turn into white people when they go in the sun because it's color theory. And I'm like, that's not how color theory works. Not to mention I'm black. That is not how I work. Because if I did, or any black person for that matter, we would be outside all the time because we wouldn't have anything to worry about. But so yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me start let me
Wait,
start
no,
actually.
wait, no.
Yeah, for real. He was doing the coloring for Star Song, and that was another thing. Like I said, with Mila, I was working on it. Me and her both had to get on him. And he was like, "Oh, they just," and I showed her, and she was like, "I got it," because she's like I said, she was the editor on it. Um, yeah,
Wait, hold
it's
on, hold on.
crazy.
Say that again. Say that
Yeah,
again.
for real. That's what dude said. Like he was like, "Oh well, since they're outside, their skin's gonna get lighter." And I'm like, "Bro, that's not how that works." He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "No, no, that's not how that." I was like, "You do realize you're talking to a black person, right?" And I was like, "And my editor is black." I'm like, "That's not how that works." So So yeah, so he had to like, and then he still did. So I did. So I took it, and whenever he sent me the page, I went in and changed the coloring to make her look darker. And then I sent it back, and I'm like, "See, that's how it's supposed to look." And he was like, "Oh,
So
you know how
that
to color?" I was like, "I told you I knew how to color. I know how to color. I know how to ink, and I know how to pencil. I just don't. The only thing I really do is ink because lettering, inking, and writing are and editing are my strong points. I stay away from the penciling and the coloring because one is very time consuming. I can ink really fast, even though inking is time consuming. But yeah, so like I just hire the, except for Mark and his brother, like they handle everything. I let them handle everything. But yeah,
so when I
wildness.
toast
Had to
my
notice him.
so when I put my bread in the oven and I want toast, it doesn't turn brown.
Mhm,
It gets light.
mhm. It gets lighter because you're shining sun on. You shining shining artificial sun on it. Yeah, that was like one of the wildest things I heard. And I was like, okay. And I'm not saying every artist does that. Yeah, I think that was just a special case with this
I don't.
individual because some individuals that I've noticed, some artists, and not even artists only, some publishers get very arrogant and they can do no wrong, which is a horrible mistake. If you aren't constantly learning and if you don't understand that you can make a mistake, you're gonna fall flat on your face and you're not gonna progress.
Okay,
That's
look.
that's just the truth of the matter. So
These are true. Look, these are true statements right here.
yeah, for real. Yeah. When he told me that, I was stung too. I had to walk away and come back. Yeah. I had to walk away and come back when that dude told me that. I was like,
That's just like my mom was told today because my mom had to go to the dentist and she had to get a tooth extracted.
"Mm,
She was told by a person of color that they took her money and she wasn't supposed to have wisdom teeth because black people don't are not supposed to have wisdom teeth.
well, I still had one in my jaw. So maybe everybody was right when they said I'm not black. Because I still got one here.
My mom called me and told me that, and I couldn't. That's my first.
What
Mind
is
you, I used to have a stuttering problem. That was my first
yeah.
time in 30 some years that I started stuttering again.
Yeah. I would too. You're probably pissed.
I was, I was like, I was confused and kind of lost, and my brain cells went down a couple of notches.
Oh yeah. That'll do it.
And
Statement like that.
so that's that.
Like,
That's that. This okay, y'all. This is the reason why. Excuse me. I stay at my house, and I only deal with certain people.
mhm.
I don't go out much. I can't have certain conversations. I just can't.
According to other black people in education, because Rainus is clearly not for the culture because he has 4 doctorates. So that's the other things we're not supposed to have you include. Some of the craziest stuff you hear. I tell you, the world is crazy.
You see, I done saw. You see, I once was blind,
Mhm,
but now I see. My glasses are off.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah.
This is why I say all the time, weird.
Mhm.
People are just so weird.
They are.
They
It's like,
so knowledgeable till they weird. It's like
yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
yeah, for real. It's like, I don't know, like, I I don't get it. Like, that's the reason why my circle's getting like, it's doing this.
Yeah, I tell
Like,
people all
that's
the
what it's
time,
doing.
my circle is becoming a period. It's like period. That's it. Counting this many people. Period. That's it. No more people are added to it.
This is a question. Have y'all ever had a hold on. I'm gonna read this before bringing it up. Have y'all ever had an Airbnb partially paid for, had to cancel, and not get the money you paid back? I haven't gotten an Airbnb yet, so I have not experienced that, Anubis. Um, but I will fight for that. Like,
Yeah, was it a
especially,
contract?
yeah, make sure the Airbnb actually said that you can get your refunds because some Airbnbs, like, if they don't mention that you can get your refund, or sometimes they'll mention it, like you can't, or I've seen some whenever I was looking at Airbnbs where it's like you gotta request it during a certain amount of time, and if you don't request it during that
Mhm.
time, you can't get it back. and some of them will let you request all the way to the day of. Like if you
Yeah,
like if which makes sense because shit happens, you know. So if you can't get there and you're like, hey, we're not coming, then you can still get the money back.
yeah. I would
Okay. So MG said she got her money back. I would check on that,
I would check the
Anubis,
contract.
and make sure that they didn't have any type of clauses like where you had to request within a certain amount of time. And what I mean by that is like, because some of them will say, well, once you register, you have to request your money back like within 48 to 72 hours. Yep. Yep. Depending on contracts. Exactly. So I would do that, Anubis. I would check that and see. Or see if they even had a refund clause, because some of them don't. Some of them don't even have a refund clause, which I think is wild. That's like the quickest way for you not to get any customers.
Yeah,
Who announced
that's
that?
true.
Wait, who announced that? Airbnb said they weren't giving refunds back after COVID was there now? Well, I guess I need to go ahead and get the sleeping bag for my car when it's time to go to these cons. People wilding.
It's crazy.
Because
That
if
is
I can't
crazy.
make it, you're gonna have to give me a refund. Um, that's wild. Okay, so
All right.
as far as we heard about Scorpio, Scorpio's safe. Y'all know he had the hurricane last week. Scorpio's safe. And you heard a little bit about the 13, age of
Yeah.
13 that's on the way with the ash
Yes,
can.
it
So
is.
y'all be ready for that.
There's some
It's
other
gonna be
stuff gonna be
cool.
with the ash can too.
Yeah,
It's not
other stuff
just
gonna
the
be with
ash
the ash
can.
can. Yep.
You know,
Yep. So we
I am.
got
Oh,
Scorp-
I'm sorry. I am
go
gonna
ahead.
be. I am gonna be selling some of these. Okay,
Okay, there you
because
go.
yeah,
Hey Pupper.
well,
But
you see him in the back. He's
yeah, I
getting
see him back
fed.
there.
I don't have a.
But
See, look, he's covering up. See him covering up.
you
Yeah.
know, that's funny. That's that's funny. But Scorpio's writing skills, uh Dan's artistic skill, which
Ooh,
there's some angles in that book. Oh my goodness. And then me on the lettering, because I'm gonna try to make that dope. Like I'm gonna do something
oh,
special for the ash can, because I know we're going black and white with it, but I'm gonna do something special with the lettering so it pops against it and fits the vibe of the book. So
mm,
don't you worry.
I can't
I
wait
got
for
you.
y'all to see it. I cannot wait to see this. Yeah, I can.
So Mingle, you said Airbnb said that you heard it over the radio. It could have changed since then. I hope it changed because they probably, honestly, now that you mention it, I think I do remember hearing something like that, and then a lot of people said they were going to stop using it and they changed it back, which I don't like. What do you expect? you
Yeah.
especially like you become like the main
Hmm.
way that people like to travel. They like to get Airbnb now, and you're telling people, "Oh, we're sorry you can't make it, but we're not going to give you your refund back." I mean, yeah, you're going to lose customers. I'm
I can understand you keeping like a certain amount as like a fee for holding the room or holding the Airbnb. But if that person can't make it, I would most definitely refund them. That's just bad juju. Just,
Hey, yeah, Anubis, get with actual air if you haven't already, like, because like with Airbnb, whenever it comes to the different homes and apartments and things like that, the folks are staying, and that's the person that rents that out, so that money goes to that
hmm.
person. So contact actual Airbnb if you haven't, and not the person, like the actual company that oversides all of the people who are putting their houses into Airbnb.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, do that because you might have to go higher, like for real. Because like sometimes when you deal with the individual, they want to, oh no, we can't do this. Like I've dealt with artists. Oh, you know, please, please, I'll do the refund. Don't go to PayPal. It's been a long time, buddy. I'm going to PayPal. Like sometimes you got to go to the big boss. You might have to do that,
And what and
honestly,
what
especially
and what
since you gave that
and
much
what
money. Like
and
for
what
real.
PayPal gonna do? PayPal gonna give you their money back and go to your account and swipe their money out of yours. And they gonna if
Well,
it's not there,
well,
they're gonna go
that's
back
the.
every 3 days.
Oh, you talking about for the artist? Are you talking, yeah, for the artist? Yeah, because like when I did a refund and went straight to PayPal for that refund,
Mhm.
that's one of the only times PayPal actually gave me my money.
Yeah. PayPal
No
that's how PayPal
transactions or
that's
anything.
what PayPal will do. They will go ahead and they will give you your
Yeah, they'll
money,
give
but
you the
what they're
money.
getting their money back from the artists.
And they'll
So
keep
they're
it.
going after
They'll
them and
flag them.
swiping out their account. Yeah.
Yep, they'll flag them and be like, "Hey, you can't take any more transactions till this is paid off." And that's what they'll do. That's why when you hear people say, "Oh, there's something wrong with my PayPal account," that's usually what's wrong with the PayPal account.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of times that's usually what's wrong with their PayPal account. See, hold on, let me see. Oh, you are? Oh, yeah, because MG's going through that right now. Wait on your last little bit. So, yep, PayPal gonna get it, and then they're gonna look at that person and be like, you gotta reimburse." That's like the mob. It's like we
Hmm.
covered you. Now you gotta give us the money back, or we're taking
With
out
a
your niece.
percentage.
Exactly, with a percentage.
Crazy.
They don't play. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about what I'm doing, and then we're gonna get into this topic as we have some more
Yeah.
time. Um, but I just inked the page from Stars. Like I said, a fire's been lit under me because I got to make sure I get this book out for my friend. Um, and all the cosplayers are gonna be cosplaying Stars characters, MGSJ, and you too, Dark Dove, if you're still out there. But yeah, so I gotta make sure I get this book out. I just knocked out an ink page. I'm about to do another one, watch some TV and ink and do some inking. Um, but yeah, that's what I got going on my side. Also writing. Cypher team is gonna make me cry. It
Oh.
is. It is. I also shot my shot with a couple of things this weekend. I sent the email to a certain band about a certain song to use with a certain comic. I'm waiting to
Hmm.
hear back from them because if they, yeah, we'll see what happens. I was like, just shoot the shot, see what happens.
You never
So I
know.
did that. Never know what might happen. They might come back and be like, oh, sure. They might come back and be like,
Really?
no, or come back, don't email us again. Here's a restraining order, a digital restraining order, which they can do, folks. I know a lot of people think they can't, but they can stop you from emailing people. And if you do email them, you will go to jail. Because online
Look.
bullying
You
is a
said
thing.
email. You didn't say I couldn't DM.
Email. Well, the same thing. It's all under all of that is under that's direct
No, it's
message. All of
not.
that would be under the clause.
You didn't say I
Scorpio,
couldn't tweet. I couldn't tweet you and tag you in it.
Scorpio, don't go out there and get in trouble. Don't go out there.
Couldn't
We ain't got
do an
we ain't got
Instagram post, make a video, and tag your name in it. You said
we
email.
hey, we ain't got that bell money right now. Don't go out there. Don't go out there going against restraining orders, Scorpio.
It's just a piece of
Okay.
paper. What is it gonna
So one of our topics, I don't know if y'all have been hearing or watching or paying attention or
do?
anything like that, but there was something that we wanted to talk about. And I think this is a great title for Scooby Doo stuff because Scooby Doo doing stuff right now. They
Yes.
really do. They really doing
First they
stuff right now.
first they
Um,
cancel it. Then I think they
mhm,
what? Then they bring it back, and then now all of a sudden they're making Velma
mhm,
come out of the closet
yeah.
after
So
60 some
Velma's gonna
years.
be yeah. So Velma's a lesbian now. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say this and put this out here. For y'all who do know me, y'all know I have no problem with that. Like if you read my comics, you know I have no
None
problem with that.
whatsoever.
However, when it comes to this change, I know Scorpio, myself, and John, we talked about it.
Mhm.
And it comes to the whole, of course, as always, why are you doing that? Because we always wonder what are the reasons. Is it for story or is it for money? And unfortunately, I know a lot of people get hyped when they see it, they get excited, and they're like, oh my God, representation, representation. But you still got to ask yourself because you're dealing with a multi-million, billion-dollar corporation. Are they actually doing this because they care about representing you, or are they doing this because they know that's what you want to see and they just want your money? Because those are two totally different beasts. I mean, if we look at
Right.
capitalism as a whole, I mean, it's two heads on the same freaking dragon. But you got to ask yourself, like, what is the reasoning for them to do that?
Yeah,
So we
which
talked
bring
about that.
which
Go
brought
ahead.
about the question that I have posed to you all. It says it goes like, does it matter to disclose
Mhm.
the character's sexuality, or should we keep it a secret? And it talks about, like what he was just saying, how it's pretty much just profiting off LGBTQIA.
But see,
So
that's the thing too.
so
Like, I see a lot of people in the comments, like what Anubis just said too. He said Velma just came out in the recent cartoon. And then also right here, SJ said that it hasn't been new for a while. So this is the thing, right? I've been watching Scooby Doo for a long time. Y'all know I'm old as hell. Okay, and I get what y'all are saying, but Velma has had a relationship with Shaggy.
Hmm.
Velma has also said that Fred was cute, that she actually was attracted to Fred. This was also in the first movie. It was also in cartoons. Velma has also in like some of the other newer, like I'm talking early '90s Scooby Doo movies, Scooby Doo cartoons and stuff like that, has been attracted to males. Just like the whole thing with Iceman. When Iceman came out as gay, everybody was like, "Why?" And everybody's like, "Well, shut up! You don't like gay people." It was no, it's because Iceman was literally in a loving relationship with Kitty, and then other things too. Now, that's not to say that someone can be
Hmm.
gay and date. It's not to say that. However, a lot of people brought up other questions when it came to Velma, and I think that's what you were leading to, Scorpio,
Yeah,
where it was like you
because
got the smart girl of the group, and this is
which
what John mentioned. You got the
yeah,
smart
this
girl
is
of
what
the
John
group.
mentioned. You got the smart
Yeah.
girl of the group. She's like the what the book smart. They're very knowledgeable. How people gear toward that. Okay, she's not running after boys.
Hmm.
She's not, prettiest looking, but she dressed different. She just all about her education. Oh, she's automatic a lesbian.
Automatically gay, which creates a lot of problems. And
That's
I'm
not.
saying that as a person who was called gay growing up because I didn't
Yeah.
chase girls and I was only concentrated about writing and sports and act drama and
Mhm.
making sure I got a grade, good grade.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really thinking about chasing tail. I
I
wasn't,
wasn't thinking
but
about
people thought
sex
that was
then.
gay, So as a person who has gone through that, I see it as a problem too, because that's just
Yeah.
like saying, oh, well, she's smart. She doesn't chase guys. She must definitely be a lesbian. Maybe she's just more concentrated on her education. Maybe she's asexual.
Or maybe,
Has
or
anyone thought
maybe,
about that?
or maybe she's just
So
straight up shy.
maybe she's shy. Maybe none of the dudes that came her way were someone that she actually saw herself being with. Maybe she's demisexual. There's other things than just that, you know. So that's why it raises the question of like why, and then also points at now you're creating a stereotype
Yeah. So
of a character who doesn't chase guys. She's only concentrated in her education. That's the only thing she cares about. Oops, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to put that back up there. That's the only thing that she cares about is her education, being smart, being the smart one on the team. And now all of a sudden it's like, she's lesbian. When clearly she had a relationship with Shaggy. Clearly she freaking thought Fred was attractive and actually had a crush on Fred. Again, not to say that you can't like the opposite sex, but eventually find out you're lesbian or gay or what have you. Um, but like I said, it just raises the questions again as to why. Is it because they feel like this is that character's story arc? And if it is, why not create a story where this character is coming into being, coming into finding themselves? Then it will be, as a writer, to me, it will make more sense. Because even in my
yeah,
book, like I have a character right now who's transsexual and they're going through the process, and nobody knows other than the people that I told them and people that probably have been that route and see it based off of this individual's actions. But that's how it should be. You should tell the story. Like,
yeah,
but I don't know. That's just me. I get it. I get the representation. I get a lot of people want it. I get a lot of people feel like they haven't had it. But we also have to start asking too, what is
you
it that
know,
we're accepting?
are
Just because
you
we're being
are you
represented doesn't mean we have to accept cow shit. Just
are
being
you are
honest.
you really are you really doing it for representation, or are you doing it because it's like a new thing?
That part right there, Eileen. That part. She can be pansexual.
I mean, are you
I'm
doing
just
it for the right reasons? Are you doing it because, oh, this is the route that everybody's going now, so let's make characters this way, them to buy more books and stuff like this. We're gonna print an extra million books for that.
which cartoon and what did they do, Esther? And which cartoon? Because I know the ones that I saw, I never saw anything alluding to her being a lesbian, and I saw all of them because I grew
Unless
up
it was
watching it. My mom
unless it
grew up
was some
watching it,
newer
so she
cartoons that I
introduced
haven't
yeah,
seen.
exactly, like something that came in within the last 5 years, which in a sense is kinda, I won't say moot, but it goes to the conversation because that's was when all of this stuff started
Yeah,
changing, you know? Um, so my mom grew up watching Scooby-Doo, introduced it to me and my
yeah,
siblings, and it was my brother's favorite show, and never, ever, ever was that ever put there, ever. Just like how a lot of people Mystery Incorporated, okay, like I said, new show. This is a
yeah.
show within all of the changing. So it kinda
That's why it was a newer version of it.
So I get it as a new show. This is the thing, something
Yeah,
too that I've realized too, like a lot of individuals who may have been like super young in the 90s, may say things like, well, they've never done that for us, or we've never seen that
yeah,
when it was there. Just like I've been
yeah,
rewatching Sliders. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that show, but I was old enough when Sliders came out to understand it and remember it. So I was just like rewatching it. And there's a lot of shit in Sliders, this early 90s TV show, that a lot of people nowadays are saying they never did. And they were doing it in the 90s. And it's not just Sliders. They did it with Quantum Leap. They did it with a whole bunch of TV shows during the early 90s to the mid 90s, things like that. Let's not forget Martin, Fresh Prince, all these other shows where they touched on things like that, touched on being gay, touched on lesbianism, touched on freaking
and live in color.
black on black crime, touched on you know, uh, white cops abusing black people. Like we've all touched on this, but there's something that my mom told me growing up, that there's nothing new under the sun. And then there's
Mhm.
the other statement of, if you don't study your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I
Yeah,
think that's what a lot of this is. Like a lot of people haven't really studied the things that have come before. Like I said, I'm rewatching things and I'm just like, oh shit, they were doing that in the 80s. But
mhm,
people say they weren't, but they were. They were.
they were.
Like, for instance, how everybody says there were no powerful female characters. Shit, like I would have never thought to walk up against freaking Ripley and Alien. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. Ripley was a badass. Then if you look at all the final girls, badasses. These are individuals who beat the big boogeyman, the big boogeyman, which was usually a man.
Yeah,
Um, well, actually, almost always a man. I think the only time they've ever really had a female slash, but let me think. I don't want to say that. Well, I mean, you have like Dolly, what, Mommy Dearest, Dolly Dearest, whatever. You had like the other psychological stuff. Then of course you had the Exorcist and everything like that. But like actual like female slasher was that newer movie that they just made called damn, I can't think of the name of it. But she like cut up a whole police department. It was crazy. But Malignant, I think is the name of it.
hold on. So, selection.
Yeah.
Selection. Hold
Or are people just basing things off of what's within the scope of the last 5 years or the last decade? That's another question that has to be asked, you know? Because if I just base things off the scope of the last decade, that'd be from what, 2012 to now, soon 2013 to now. Um, yeah. So, so that's like the one thing too that I'm curious about. Yeah, let me see. Anubis said, when did you say you said it's 2 seasons in 2010? Anubis? Yeah, 2 seasons in 2010. Okay.
on. Yeah, that's the
So
newer
that
version.
was around the time when they first started, but they were still kind of scared. They were still kind of scared to start
They were
changing things.
testing the waters.
Which is really weird. Is like if you're a creator and you have an idea, don't be scared to put it out there. I do want to say that too. Like, because I'm not freaking scared. I wish somebody would come back to me and say, "Oh, you made this character gay." And it's my fucking character. Go kick
I'm the
rocks.
creator.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That character
so
gonna do
like,
whatever I want him to do.
right. But in my mind, when I'm doing it, like I'm not doing it for, and that's the only part that I have a disagreement in as a creator is when you're doing it for money or you're doing
Yeah,
it to say, look at me. That's where I have a problem. Because if I do it, I'm not doing it to say, look at me. I'm doing it because I feel like this is that character. I feel like that character spoke to me and told me who they were. Because with this one character, and I don't want to mention their name because if I mention their code name or their real name, you're gonna know who. I will say this for everybody that's out there in the crowd right now and read Triple High issue 2. If you haven't noticed it, just go back through the pages, and when something happens, two individuals are gonna be very straight faced, and you're gonna know right off the bat what they are. You're gonna know. Well, one of them's bi, but the other one's straight up trans. So he's just like, you know, um, but also in the same vein, that's to that character, is not just like, for instance, I just revealed that Daquan is actually Panamanian and black. He's been Panamanian and black forever. When I first created him, I was actually gonna make him Indian. And then I was gonna make him Indian and black, and then I decided, no, I'm doing Panamanian and black. So it's just what I ended up coming into, and I just revealed that because I wanted to, but it's like I didn't do it because, oh, we need more of this. I didn't do it for that reason. I did it for the character because I felt like that's what the character said that they were. Same thing with Della. I felt like she was telling me this is who I am, my heavyset character. Like even when I was gonna make her a heavyset character with a chip on her shoulder, angry, because she's a big girl and everybody picks on her. But I
Alex,
decided not to because she was like, "That's not me. Don't do that. I'm not gonna be weighted down by that." And I, you know, made her what she was. And I'm pretty sure as time goes on, people are probably gonna be like, "Well, why is she mad because of this? Well, why should she be?" As long as she loves herself, that's all that matters, right? But I don't know.
look here, Lizzo
Maybe I'm
ain't
rambling.
mad.
Yeah, exactly. Lizzo ain't mad. Lizzo's like, all y'all can kick rocks.
And look, and Lizzo's a vegan, so really?
Yeah. So like that's my big
Yes,
thing is like,
she's a
what are the
whole
reasons why?
vegan. But
Because
yeah,
I
that's
even heard because I even heard something recently, even with Marvel. Because I guess with Phase 4 and everybody being so unhappy, and Marvel was, and this is the crazy part, Marvel was giving everybody what they asked for, with all these different characters and all these different sexualities and all these different powers, not powers as in powers, but power swapping of characters, and a lot of people were angry. So I heard Kevin Feige's about to fix some stuff.
you can't always give the people
Yeah.
give them
That's why I say how it has to be story driven. If you're doing it for anything other than the story, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
when I write, I'm writing to tell a story and to get
Yep.
it out there.
Mhm.
I'm really writing for me to get that out and
Mhm.
put it on paper and be like, okay, here we go. There we go. The story's out.
Yeah.
Alex, Alex, he's gonna give you little. You're gonna if you can't if you're not a read in between the lines type of person, you're not gonna get certain things. Alex gonna tell you right then and there what he is, what he likes,
Mhm.
but you
Exactly.
have to be able to read between the lines and say, hold on, what
Wait
happened?
a second.
Did he
Yep. And see,
just? That's
yep.
that's what I
Exactly.
want. That's how I
Yeah.
want you to be with the whole boy. Wait, did he just
Mhm.
do? Oh,
Mhm.
that's what
Just
he.
like
Oh, yeah.
just like how everybody like SJ and MG, like a lot of and Dark Light, a lot of people figured out just Sarah and what her
Mhm.
sexuality was. And I didn't say it. That's because you put it in the story and you let the readers figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't
I
like
don't want
that's
to
what I'm
give
saying. Like
everything
to
away.
me, that's like I would have rather them like and I know y'all said that I'm gonna have to go back and watch Scooby Doo Incorporated. Unfortunately, I
Yeah.
was in Iraq during that time, so I did not see. Unfortunately, I was in Iraq in 2010, so I did not see that cartoon. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I'm gonna have to see what they did with the story and see if they actually told the story or if she just popped on and said, "Ta-da, I'm lesbian." So because honestly, that's what I feel like a lot of the stuff is now.
Mhm.
Is like 1 minute the character's one way, then they pop up, "Papa, I'm this," and it's like,
Okay. Did you find a ghost?
since when? Bro, it's like, since when? Like, when did that happen? And that's like I said, that's my only thing.
Yeah.
That's my only thing with it. Like, you put it in a story, like I don't care. Like, as
Yeah.
long as it's in a story and it makes sense, I do not care. But if you're just
We
pop up, like, and to me, that's kind of, and maybe the character was always like that, but like, I guess, I guess show it. But then again, it's kind of hard too because I know a lot of these major companies, they have so many writers. Like they have They might have one writer writing this arc and another writer writing
Mhm.
that arc, and then this party writing that arc. And what's going on, Boogie? And then another
Yeah,
writer writing this arc. So it's like the story can get convoluted. It can get lost. It can get, you know, whereas one
just to
writer
get
might see
somebody
one
who
thing
doesn't
where the
wanna
other
write
writer
about
didn't.
that. Some
Yeah,
people, I don't
so
wanna write that way, I'm gonna do
mhm,
this, and then somebody come back, "Oh, I'm gonna write like this," and
yeah.
you confuse the reader,
Yeah,
you know?
but even with that, like I can use that as an excuse, which I've heard new writers on comics use that as an excuse. But the thing is you're the new writer. You have the control.
Yeah,
If that's what you want this character to be, instead of announcing it in the tabloids for folks to jump in and buy the comic, how about you just do it in the story and let people find out?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Writing writing is, yeah, has its moments, it's very true. Hey, Boogie, what's going on? But yeah,
but
yeah, writing has its moments, so
yeah.
that was just one of the things that came to mind that I was like, "This would be a good topic to talk about." 'Cause I'm just like,
Mhm.
what i
What is the reason?
what is your mindset? What is the reason? Are you trying
Yeah.
to put it out there in
And
the
then it
forefront that,
goes to this, which is what
this would exist, or
well, and then it goes to this, which is what my biggest thing is like, do they actually care?
no?
You know, because I've seen a couple of characters where they'll come out and say this character is gay, and then that character resort back to not being gay, and then it'd be gay. It's like you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
to me when I see
Ooh,
stuff like that, that wishy washy, and I
yeah.
get
Ooh,
it. Life
Imma wear a
people do it
rainbow
all the
today.
time. Yeah, like I've actually met actual lesbians and gay people who in real life who one minute they're gay and next minute they're not. Especially like yeah, I'm not gonna say that, but like one minute they are and one minute they aren't. And
I
is
know,
so I
yeah.
get it, you
I've
know,
I've I've seen that happen. Yep,
but
I know a couple
yeah,
that actually did that.
yeah, so but it's just odd, because it makes me wonder, like, do you actually care that you're bringing inclusivity to the individuals who felt like they've been alienated, felt like they
Mhm.
haven't been represented, felt like no one is in their corner, no one is on their
Yeah.
side, no one is listening to them. Like, do you actually care about that? Do you actually care about representing these people, representing us, you know? Or is it because of the money? Because they're like, "Oh, this is what they're asking for, supply and
Yeah.
demand." That's like quite literally the basics that you're taught in business school. Find the
Or is
problem, fix the problem.
fix the
That's quite
problem.
literally that's quite literally supply and demand. So what they said was, "Oh, they're not being represented. How can we make more money? Represent them."
That's
Now
yeah. So yeah, that's one thing it's crazy how
Mhm.
they're doing that. It is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And my thing is like,
But
if you cared about it, you would create a new character, or you would tell a story of how this character, like with Iceman, which I feel like they probably should have did instead of what they did. Like, I don't care that Bobby Drake's gay. Like, fine,
mhm,
okay, but I think what they should have did, what would have made it matter more, at least to me and gay friends that I've had, or friends that I've had who were straight and then realized that they were gay.
mhm,
They all have a story to tell. Like, if you actually sit down and talk to people of the LGBTQIA community, they all have a story to tell. And their story usually is one, they're not accepted. Some of them get kicked out by their parents. Some of them get beat by their parents. Some didn't realize that's what they were and they tried to fight against it until one day they just accepted themselves for that. I feel like if they would have did something like that with Bobby Drake, instead of just having someone saying, "Oh yeah, well, I think it was Gene who did it. Oh yeah, I turned you gay." It's like, the fuck are you
ba-ding,
talking about? Like, if
just
I was
wave the
Bobby, I would have
magic
slapped
wand.
her and been like, "You did what?" Because like he talked to so many women. So like if he would have came out and just were like, "Oh, the reason why I was a chauvinistic individual and dated all these women like this and slept around like that is because I didn't know who I was and
Yeah,
maybe
I
this
was
is who
trying
I
to
am." And
prove
now he
something, and
becomes
I
that.
was
He was trying to prove that he was the big man.
yeah,
And that's the reason why he did that, because he didn't want people to know that he was battling with himself, which I've heard that story before also, from individuals in real life. So that's like my big thing is like, Do they care or is it money? You know, because if they cared, I think they'd give these characters more story rather than
That one time.
just doing it, you know, rather than saying, "Look what we did." They will actually give a story and let people find out. That's just my whole thing behind it. I don't know. Kensho Kuma said that would require good writers, and you're absolutely right. It would. It would require
People
good
who
writers.
actually
Let me see. Very few times is that they care. It's mostly about the money. I feel, yeah, and I think that's what it is, and that's the reason
is.
why I tell a lot of folks is like, I get it. Like we're seeing what we haven't seen. I get it. However, especially if you're a creator, we have to not judgmental, but we have to dissect things.
Yeah, gotta research too.
Froze out dinner. Absolutely, sailor. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a story of trauma all the time. It could
No,
be anything. It could be like, maybe they,
just
because I had actually had a soldier, and I'm not gonna disclose anyone's names, but I had a soldier who, and her stuff wasn't about trauma. Like her family, like fully accepted her for who she was, but her deal was she just never felt comfortable around men. Like she never, like she tried. Like she tried to date dude. She went to a prom with a dude, and she was just like, and she was just telling me her story, and she was just like, I just never felt comfortable. Nothing traumatic, you know. Parents
I have
accepted her,
I
all
actually have
that,
a good
you know.
I actually have a
So
good
yeah, you're
friend.
right. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
traumatic.
I actually have a good friend who we still talk to this day on Facebook. Her story was like she always would say that. She said, "I think God made a mistake." I was like, "Why you say that?" She said, "I just think God made a mistake." And if you were to sit down and have a conversation with her, you would literally thought you was talking to a guy. She, I'm talking about, she thinks like a guy. She moves like a guy. She carries herself, but she very very sweet person. But she the thought of being with a man makes her sick to her stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some that, like you said, there was no trauma. She has no issues with her family. They all accepted her.
Mhm.
It's just that she
It's
just
just
can't see
that's who
herself
she
with
is.
a guy.
Exactly. She just can't,
She just,
And
so
like
love her to death.
like
That's my best. Love her.
yeah, exactly. And you can go that way. You don't have to go to trauma route. I just
Okay.
think, honestly, I think Bobby Drake's reason is probably the wildest. To me, that was like, okay, we're gonna make Bobby like I'm like envisioning myself in the writer's room because I've
Mhm.
created think tanks myself. I've also had like, these little rooms where I'm talking to other writers or talking to my friends who are writers and we're like throwing ideas at each other
Yeah.
and talking to SJ or you Scorpio about your books and we're just throwing ideas together. So y'all know how it can get,
Oh yeah.
pretty heated in creating, not heated in a bad way, but just the energy of creation and
Yeah.
how
Like
heated it can get, right? So
we literally
and
feed
every
off
time
each other.
exactly we feel again, we're in a sense we get to the point where we're saying what the other person's thinking, But I just feel like the deal with Bobby Drake was like somebody just threw a dart at a wall. It was like, how are we gonna make him gay? Jane Grey changed him. What do you mean Jane Grey? She did something to his mind. And I feel like no one really did anything like that. And like Sailor said, it doesn't have to be traumatic. It doesn't. It could have just been him one day realizing that, oh, that like I said earlier, he's dating all these different women, and then just one day he realizes why he was acting that way. What it was that he was trying to cover up,
Yeah.
to make it seem like he was the man's man, when in reality he was just not really into women. He was actually into men, but
Yeah.
he was trying to cover that up so no one could find out. And
And
that's the way you can go about it too,
and
where it's not traumatic.
and for some reason, some people are always ready to take the trauma route.
Yep, exactly,
But
Thomas.
you have to
Mhm,
understand it's not always traumatic. Some people who just that's part of who they are. It's
mhm.
not always like there's some people always say, "Oh, you must was less than when you were a child." And I've heard a lot of them say they was like, "No one touched me. Nothing happened when I was a child."
Yeah,
That's the first
exactly.
thing that people
And people
already go
think,
to. Oh, you were molested, so that's what made you think. Just switch. No, some people like nothing happened. Nothing happened to me. So I'm just that's why some people do like to take that route.
It shows so many different stories to tell that go untold. It's like they take the cheap way out, and instead of developing a character, they just click their heels and go, "Boom, you're gay now." Exactly, and that's what
Mm,
they do. And that's my big, as a writer, that's my big argument. Like, I
yeah,
don't mind that it's there. Freaking bring it there. Everyone needs representation. Everyone needs to be able to see themselves in something. However, make the character stick. Because
yeah,
if you look at all of these characters that everyone loves now, they all have a story that has resonated with us some way, shape, or form, and that is why it sticks with us. If you don't do that, then yeah, at that moment, we're gonna be happy. But after a
mhm,
while, it's gonna be like on to the next one, you know?
yeah.
And yeah, SJ. Exactly. That is exactly what they did. As you said, did not know that was the story reason. Yes, that was the story reason. Jean Grey was
And don't
responsible for
just
changing Bobby Drake. Yeah. She went
and
into his
don't
mind and changed the way he thought.
and don't just I forgot what I was getting ready to say. Darn it.
Mm. Uh-oh. Can't be forgetting.
Uh-oh. There was so much going in my head that I wanted to go ahead and spit out. I should have just spit it. But
Yeah, bring it back.
oh,
We were talking about
there you
Bobby Drake.
go.
There it
I
is.
have it.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. I have it. When you make the character, or like you said, lead it up, tell a story,
Mhm.
kind of like make it there but not in your face. Getting old, yeah. I'll be 39 next month, so yeah.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the 39 Club.
I'll be 40 next year. I look
Yeah,
good though.
buddy.
I ain't got no
For real.
wrinkles though. Look at that.
No.
Clear
Only thing I got
skin.
is this. I don't got crow's feet, nothing like.
You better get some of that Aztec clay mixed with some
I'm about
vinegar and
to
put on your face and make a mask.
I'm about to go bathe in the blood of my victims.
Uh,
That's what I'm about to do. 39 ain't
well,
up. Hey, you know what?
it's
You know
not.
what? Thank both of y'all. You right, it ain't. Thanks, Tom. 39 ain't old. You
39 ain't
absolutely
old.
right.
No,
We
no.
still babies. That's how I look at it. And I think honestly, that's why I still look young. Because even though I'm about to be 40, I'm like, I'm still a baby. Like if you really think about it, like there's my grandmother is 83. Like on our birthday, she turned 83. I turned 39. Which check this out for some numbers. I was born in 1983. She
Mm,
was born in 1939, and we're both born on September 23rd. That's some
racist.
universal shit for your ass right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I'm like looking at her, and I'm like, quite literally, she has an entire lifetime, two lifetimes on me, two
Ahead of
lifetimes
you.
at my
Ahead of
age.
you.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like I haven't even experienced shit yet. Does that just stop counting and you'll never
Oh
age?
yeah, that's what Quentin said.
Yeah,
Just stop
you're right.
counting. He said he don't count. He don't celebrate
Yeah,
birthdays. He stopped counting.
yeah,
He
that's one thing
just
to do.
that's what he
Yeah,
did.
take control of that your mind and the aging and stuff, like Gene did to Bobby.
Oh yeah, but back to what I was
Also,
gonna
we
say.
black, we don't crack.
That's true.
There is that too. But yeah, so that's like I said, that's my. Did you finish what you were saying, or
Oh
did I
yeah,
cut you off?
here we go.
Did you finish? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I did. Here we go.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here we go. When you, like you say, build a story. If that person is part of the
Mhm.
LGBTQIA plus community, build a story and don't just focus on that.
Yes.
I hate when people just focus on that one thing.
Yes.
He gay, he gay, he gay. And you see that through all the books. That's the gay. Oh, you too. Look, don't focus on that. It's just
Exactly.
they have other abilities also. Don't focus on that, please.
Yep.
That's
There's
annoying, and then that makes me stop reading the book.
yeah,
Like I'm not
because
reading.
there's a lot to a person's personality. Like that's just one piece of it. But this person could be the nicest person on the face of the earth, an
That's true.
asshole, or just a person who's they don't have any side. They could be a freaking chef, they could be an
Mhm.
athlete, they could be a super genius, they can be, a orphan,
That's
they
true.
could be come from a big like there's so much more than just that you can play on in that story. Whenever you're telling those stories. And like I was saying earlier, like, because I know some people may hear it and be like, oh well, tears against bringing LGBTQIA plus into the community. Well, if you say that, then that means you clearly have not read any of my comics. But in the same vein as like there are stories there. Like, even the way that I had a character in Temple High Issue 1 say that she was bisexual,
Mhm.
a lot of people didn't even pick up on it because of the way that I made her say it, but she straight up
That's very true.
said it to her character, more to her personality. She's a
Yeah.
freaking firecracker that, plays no games and doesn't like waiting and everything else, but
I just don't think stuff like that. To me, it's
yep.
I
Yep.
don't care.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything should be organic. It should
Most
not.
definitely.
You should. Yeah, I don't.
Agreed wholeheartedly. Like, if you make it organic, I don't think people would. Well, I won't say that. You're still gonna have the weirdo that's gonna care and argue
Oh my
and,
god!
"Oh, they did this."
Oh
But
my
if I
god!
think
I
if you
can't
made it
believe it.
right, but I think if you made it organic, you will hear less of that. Because I think even a lot of fans will probably look at it and be like, "Oh, well, shit, well,
Oh,
you
okay.
sold me." Like
I
you
didn't know that.
sold
I
me.
wasn't
Okay,
paying
I
attention
I
to
can
that.
see how you're doing that.
Very true. I appreciate when characters like that's those in terms like there's no questioning, no struggle, just love and moving on. Exactly. Exactly.
Because like, even though he was that character, they really didn't they didn't play on it that much. That's who he was. You just saw him with his family
Mhm.
and with his husband, and that was it. And then they went to the onto the story. Started talking about how he was a super genius. Started talking about how he was this super engineer and how he was, what I'm saying? It went on to the story. It just mentioned it and went away, which I think is the reason why a lot of people don't like Eternals because they were like,
Correct.
you should have focused on that more.
No, you don't
But I agree
focus
with you. I
on
do like how they did his. It's like you're like, oh, okay.
that's
And then it
wonderful.
went back
Who
to
you
the
gonna
story.
kill now? Who you gonna attack next? That's
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
care.
Yeah, Um,
Everybody don't think like me either. I was like, oh, okay, that's wonderful. All right, so what's next? Who are we taking out next?
yeah,
That's me. I could really care less
mhm,
about. I just don't care.
yep. My thing is
Maybe
like
that's my issue. I don't care.
possibly, and there's nothing wrong with that either. Like not caring. To me, the type of person I am too, and I know this is I don't know how folks may take this, but I really believe in everybody having their own opinion and mindset of things. I'm a true believer in that. Unless your own opinion and mindset is to hurt or harm anyone, then I
Then
cannot.
we have a
Then
then
we
your
have a
opinion is
problem.
not needed.
You know, yeah, exactly. Your opinion, I don't want to hear it.
It's
Then
not
stay
needed.
away from me because if I see you hurt someone, I'm going to hurt you. And I
Definitely.
know violence begets violence. You shouldn't do that, but no. So like that's my thing. So like I appreciate everyone's opinion. I listen to everyone's opinion. Do I take their opinion and change mine? Only if I'm wrong and they prove me to be wrong. Then I'll take that opinion and absorb it into
Correct.
myself. I'm like, okay, you were wrong there. And this is how you swap it. This is how you fix it. That person came with some knowledge. But everybody's opinion isn't gold, you know. And that's what's been going on a lot. Everybody's been throwing opinions out there,
It's
and
just
big
your
corporations
opinion.
have been like,
Well,
gold, go, go, gold, go. Let's listen to everybody. And now, like I said, Marvel is in a position where they're kind of backtracking. Like, prime example, they just revealed, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, but they were planning on doing that. That movie comes out in 2024. They were not planning on revealing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine coming back in Deadpool. They did that to
of
get everybody's mind off of the crazy crap that's going on. Well,
course,
not the
everything's
crazy
a
crap. I won't say that.
distraction.
Yeah, it's a distraction. It was like, oh, everybody's pissed. Okay, Ryan, go ahead and tell everybody that that he was coming back as Wolverine.
It's popped up out of
You can
nowhere.
do it now. It's fine.
Bam. Like,
And then it just popped up, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Now everybody's distracted, and Marvel's like, "Okay, take this time to reshuffle," because they realized they were listening to too many people. They're, you know, like I'm not going to use the the politically incorrect version. I'm gonna use the actual good version. Like you can't have so many chefs in the kitchen. Like if anybody's ever working in the kitchen, there's only one chef, and you got a sous chef, and everybody else is just the cookers. and there's too many people trying to be the chef in the kitchen. And that's the
And
reason why a lot of shit's getting fucked up. Orders are going out all sorts of jacked up right now because there's
you
too
can't.
many chefs
It's,
and not enough people cooking the food. So
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, a lot of this stuff is just a distraction, and it's also a way to boost some sales of some comic
Mhm.
books that probably haven't been because I know everyone is running out to get that. Oh gosh, which one is it? The one where yeah, Deadpool is like has Wolverine up, and I can't think of the doggone comic. I can't think of which one it is. Y'all know who it is. Y'all, if you all know what comic book I'm talking about, post that in there. But everyone is out there rushing and buying that comic, and that comic is going up on eBay,
Mhm.
and
All because of the
everybody's
announcement.
yeah.
Mhm.
And mind you, it's just an announcement, not saying that it's going to actually happen because they could
That's a
easily
good
pull
one.
it back.
Too dark though.
Too
Definitely a
many
cash
hands in the
grab.
cookie jar. Yep, cash.
Mhm.
Correct.
Actually, my dog is wigging out. I think she's about to get worse.
Oh, no.
She she needs to see me. But dang, we went well over an hour. I think I'm gonna end this here. This is a good conversation though.
Very good conversation.
Um, and thank you everyone
It's,
out there who gave your opinions and gave your statements, and even with the
hey,
stuff with Scooby Doo, letting us know which show it was that Velma came out as lesbian. That's the stuff that I want to happen here. Like, I'm not gonna shoot down anyone's opinion unless they just come up here and be a straight asshole. And for everybody that's here, y'all know me.
yeah, very much so. Not gonna allow that here at all. But yeah, we will shut it down quickly. Tier has
That froze. I know.
frozen a little bit.
But yeah, like I appreciate everyone's opinion. I appreciate what everyone had to say. I appreciate everyone. Did I freeze again? Am I freezing now? I appreciate like
Yeah, whenever you
every
see me
like
go,
all of it.
look, whenever you see me going, yep, that's why we're not doing
That's
this.
when I freeze.
He's
Okay.
frozen. I'm just trying to keep.
There you go. Yeah, just do that. That'll help me out. But I appreciate that from everyone. And
Yes,
that's
we
all I hope
do.
y'all keep bringing that. Keep bringing that to these lives, to these shows
Yeah,
because
look, do us a favor. Ask your questions. Share the lives when you
Mhm,
see us go live. This is a podcast that we want your opinion. We want you to come in the comments. We want you to give your input in about it. We're not gonna be like debating and like arguing. Oh, this is
mhm.
I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, I'm
Yeah,
right. This is the
exactly.
right way. We're not gonna do that. We're
We're not
gonna
gonna do that because
like,
everybody has
okay,
their
well,
way of
that's a
thinking.
thought.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
exactly,
never thought about that. So this
exactly.
is the main thing of this podcast is called the bridge. We're bridging the gap.
Mhm,
We're bringing it all together, so we
mhm.
can have a good understanding of each other. So
Exactly.
that's what. So please make sure y'all do
Yep,
share this podcast. We are
yep, share
on
it, and
YouTube,
whenever we have a show
Anchors. Yeah,
mhm, whenever we have a
share,
show, bring your questions. We say something up here, and if you see it a certain different way, bring it up because 'cause Imma
especially when
look
we
at
have
it, Imma
open
read
chat
it,
night.
especially when we have open chat night because Imma read it, and I'm gonna bring it up here because like, we're gonna talk about it, like, I wanna mention it, and,
Most
like,
definitely.
just because I don't agree with you doesn't I'm not gonna sit here and say, "You're wrong." There's a lot of people there's too many people doing that crap now in the world
Yeah,
too, on both sides. "You're wrong, I'm right." It's an opinion. No one's wrong
correct.
or right.
It's just
Unless
your
you're coming
opinion.
with the fact. Yeah, unless you're coming with the fact, no one's right or wrong
Mhm,
or right. And just like how they mentioned the Scooby Doo story, I'm gonna go watch the Scooby Doo Incorporated because I did not know that, and I'm gonna see
mhm.
because that's a fact. Then I guess yeah, they said Velma was lesbian in 2010, so her being lesbian now shouldn't be a
It
problem if they
shouldn't.
already
It
introduced
shouldn't
it.
be
Yeah.
nothing. It shouldn't be nothing new. They should be like, oh, okay, yeah, we already knew.
Okay, yeah, they already did this. But see, in that same vein, a
Mhm,
lot of people didn't watch the show. So SJ and Anubis, thank you because I didn't watch that show. And like I said, I think that's what a lot of the like a lot of the miscommunication and mishaps are happening is because
mhm.
people are saying they aren't getting this when it's there, but they may not have seen it,
Once
because we
again,
can't
they're
see
not
everything.
researching.
Exactly. You know, just like I said, I started rewatching Sliders. Sliders
Yeah,
got so man, Sliders is on so much like freaking social justice stuff, and it was the early 90s, so much of it. And I'm just like, damn, people said this didn't exist in the 90s.
A
And I'm like,
lot
this
of yeah,
entire
a lot
freaking
of this.
show
I
talking
mean,
about it.
a lot of the stuff that they did back in the 90s and 80s, even they did it as like in a funny way,
Hmm.
is some of the stuff that actually happens now.
Hmm.
Especially the thing with the whole Simpsons thing is just really just throwing me for a whole loop. They literally predicted the whole video
Yeah,
chat thing.
yeah,
And,
yeah. We ain't gonna talk about Trump coming down the escalator.
I'm just like, bro, what in the world? That's on a whole different type of
We might do that. We might have a Simpsons show. Y'all let me like DM me and let me know on Instagram if y'all want us to talk about Simpsons on one of these open chats.
yeah.
Because I think all of November, the rest of November, we might just do open chats. Like for
November,
real.
look,
So
hey, that's Scorpio season. You sure you want to do that?
there, yeah, we can do open chats. We can do open chats. Let's do it. Let's do it. But but yeah, let me go ahead and end this. 'Cause I'm gonna go ahead. I gotta take my doggy out
Yes,
because she's calling for me and she's probably gonna kick
yes,
my ass when I take her out. So um and go see the family and stuff. So yeah.
yes. I
Everybody
gotta,
take it easy. Oh, go
yes.
ahead, Scorpio. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
no,
go
no,
first. You go
no.
first.
I'm just
Okay.
saying, go ahead, because I
Okay.
gotta eat something. Yeah,
I feel that.
fat boy gotta eat.
I
I
feel
worked out
that.
today so I could eat.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you work out, you gotta eat. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming to the bridge. Thank you for listening to the conversation. Thank you for keeping it cordial. One thing I'm gonna do
Yes.
when we talk about this, I want the bridge to be cordial. I know we can't control it once it starts getting bigger, but thank you all for that. Thank you for bringing in key points and notes and presenting them. Thank you for
Correct.
that. Thank you for bringing your opinions and not being afraid to. Thank you for that because we got
And
to have these
remember,
conversations and we got to talk. So,
love on each other, you
yep,
know, because you never know.
because you don't know. Yeah, you don't know when. You
You just never know.
just never know. So,
This day and age, you literally just never know.
yeah, go text
Yeah,
your friend, check on them. Go hug your family member, check on them.
correct.
You never know. So,
Make a
um,
make amends with people. Well, people
yeah,
who want to make amends with
yeah. If they want to make
people
amends,
who
make
actually
amends.
show don't even waste your time. It wasn't meant to be.
Yep.
But people that you
So,
know you have that thing with, that you know, fix it.
fix it. So,
Yeah.
all right, folks. We hope that you enjoyed the bridge. Uh, And we hope that well, this wasn't an artist night. We didn't invite anybody on, but we hope that you got something from this open chat. And if you ever have any ideas for our open chat that you want us to do, or at least a topic you want us to talk about,
Message us.
DM me, DM Scorpio, whichever. If you have an idea or something you want us to talk about on
Please
open
do.
chat night. Like I said, the rest of November, we got one person in November. The rest of November is going to be open chat night. So yeah, that's how we're going to end out the season one, which is crazy. We're almost freaking 20. Man, we'll be at 20 episodes soon, or 18, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, thank you, folks. Good night. Take it easy.
Good night, y'all.